Hi everyone, this is Lady T with Lady T Speaks TV, where we talk about relationships. In this video, we're going to continue on talking about preconceived notions, preconceived ideals that you have in starting new relationships. Now, we talked about the myth about a soulmate. We talked about the myth about finding Mrs. or Mr. Right. Those are myths. And if you refer back to the last video, you'll see how I go into detail about the reasons why they are myths. But in this video, we're going to talk some more about preconceived notions, as I stated. So let me just continue to read to you the article that I was referring to from Psychology Today that was written in 2014. And so it's in an insightful chapter written back in 2008, University of Houston psychologists Raymond Nee and Amber Bush examined the wealth of scientific studies on the topic of relationship initiation. They were particularly interested in how people's beliefs about what relationships should be like influence what attracts us to new partners in those early phases when we start to bond. In this model, relationship beliefs influence the meanings you assign to early interactions with a potential partner, such as disagreements, rapport, and similarities or differences. The combined effect of these beliefs and these experiences will determine whether you think the relationship is worth entering into, and ultimately how satisfied and intimate you become with this person, which is extremely important because we're talking about dating, we're talking about new relationships. So, in part, your relationship beliefs reflect the so-called internal working models. The attachment theorists also talked about referring to how secure or insecure you feel about your closest partners, known as an attachment style. A great deal of research exists in the literature showing how important your attachment style is to your ability to enter into a healthy long-term relationship. However, much less is known about relationship ideas. As Nee and Bush pointed out, general beliefs about what produces good, successful relationships are not necessarily the same qualities that one seeks in an ideal partner or relationship. And at this point, you might be saying, perhaps sarcastically, tell me about it. Perhaps you've been involved in one or too many relationships in which you fall for someone who meets your idea type, but who ultimately turns out to be a relationship disaster. It's important then to examine your preconceived notions of what constitutes an ideal relationship. Once you do, it'll be easier for you to consciously set them aside when you evaluate the prospect of getting involved with a new partner. You might also find it easier to, as the song says, love the one you're with. So, unlike relationship beliefs, which are simply your views on what a good relationship is like, a relationship idea is highly specific, a virtual checklist of tendencies you expect a good relationship to have. So one of them is 3 dimensions of an ideal partner. And this is according to their study. But here's one of them is warmth. Well, 2 actually. Warmth and trustworthiness go hand in hand. And it goes on to say that how much warmth do you want to express to your closest relationship partner? Not everyone wants their partner who is overly effusive and loving. Some people prefer to keep this display of affection to a minimum. Our conventional views of close relationships are that they do involve physical affection, but not everyone is comfortable with a lot of kissing and hugging. Most people do probably expect a close relationship to be one in which both partners are loyal to each other, meaning that they can trust each other. However, here again, some people don't have trustworthiness as an important dimension of their relationship beliefs. They may prefer partners who show they care but don't have a high priority on exclusivity in their relationships. So trustworthiness, warmth are very important to a new relationship, also going forward in a relationship. And so thinking about what you are willing to accept, thinking about what you want out of the ideal partner, is important, and not, again, to have preconceived ideals or preconceived notions. As the author said, you want someone who is physically warm, affectionate, but you don't want them to be overbearing. You also want someone that you can trust. And early on in a relationship, you're not going to know right away unless that person starts displaying, untrustworthy behavior. Then you'll know right away whether you want to go forward. But sometimes that behavior doesn't come into play until later on in a relationship when different situations arise. So you have to think about, what are deal breakers for you? You have to think about, what do you feel and what do you think and how do you interact with another human being, with another partner, in terms of being affectionate, being kind, and being loving, and being generous. And, are you trustworthy? Can someone trust you in a relationship? Can you trust others, or do you have trust issues? And oftentimes we have trust issues, that we've, again, have gotten from being in a bad relationship, that the person did not tell the truth about a lot of different things, and so that gives you to put your guard up. So we want to, kind of think about and get you to think about what's going on internally, what's going on inside of you, so you can be in a healthy long-term relationship. Because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about how we interact, how we relate, how we date, what we think in terms of our ideas, preconceived notions of what we expect in a relationship. And again, only you can govern what you feel, what you think. The other person has to do the same thing. And if you're mismatched in a relationship, that's not going to happen. So then you should know, hopefully that's not the relationship you want to be in. So we'll come back. We'll talk about vitality and attractiveness. Like I said, there's 3 dimensions here. But hopefully you're getting some good information that you can use in your new relationships going forward, as you're going into a long-term relationship. All right, this is Lady T. We're Lady T Speaks TV, where we talk about relationships. All right, I'll come back and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.